CIA whistleblower spills beans to Tucker Carlson about how agency can control almost every president. Wow. I haven't seen the video yet. I think I watched probably 10 seconds of it. And I was like, you know what? No, I want to react to this live. He's probably going to be saying some of the things that I already believe. We all hear that. We probably already heard that what they do is they come out and they show the president the tape of JFK getting his head blown off, and then they be like, you don't want this to happen to you, so you better fall in line. We all heard that story. I wonder, is this some of the things that he's going to be talking about? So we're going to play the clip. We're going to talk about it. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button. Share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. And hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my X account, so follow me there as well. All right, let's get into this news. Now, this comes from the Daily Caller. And they report that CIA whistleblower John Kirikou, I know I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, told Daily Caller News Foundation co-founder Tucker Carlson on Wednesday that the agency inherently controls U.S. presidents, as most agency employees tend to work in Washington, D.C. longer than the U.S. head of state does. President Donald Trump vowed to reorganize agencies such as the CIA and FBI. While discussing his time at the agency on the Tucker Carlson show, Kirikou, I'm sorry, I'm killing the name, told Carlson how CIA agents can continue their deep state plans even if they don't like the current occupant of the Oval Office. During his first day in office for his second term, Trump signed an executive order to end the weaponization of the federal government. In his order, the president accused federal law enforcement agencies and the intelligence community of abusing their positions. So let's just get right to the clip here. Here we go. Okay, taking a while to load. Here, commercials. Sorry about that.
Are smoothies a good option?
They are probably one of the biggest.
Here we go.
Because they never contacted you or your lawyer.
Never contacted either one of us.
So then 2008 rolls around, Bush leaves after 2 terms, Obama gets elected.
Yes.
And he's very much the peace candidate. He's for transparency.
Well, I like to say that it was Saint Obama that came down from the heavens
Right.
into the White House
Black
to
Jesus.
save.
Right, that's exactly how they treated him. Remember, they would picture him, make that picture to try to make it look like he had a halo and stuff. Yeah, I remember that.
Returns.
That's right.
And but he's very much I remember in fact being on television saying, he was this wild-eyed peacenik lefty guy.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, he wasn't.
Oh, he wasn't.
Right.
This is something that I've puzzled over for a long time. And I've come to the conclusion that the CIA, at the top levels of the CIA, they really love it when a new president is elected and he has no background in intelligence or foreign policy. Usually, Donald Trump is a very unique figure in this scenario. Very unusual. But Barack Obama, 2 years as a senator, no experience in foreign policy, no experience in intelligence. The day after an election, the director of the CIA authorizes a president-elect to begin receiving a PDB, a President's Daily Brief. And so the day after the election, they go with this 16-page document marked at 6 levels above top secret. And they say, Mr. President-elect, wait till you see the cool things we're doing all around the world. And they've sucked him in. They made him one of the guys. And every day they're like, wait till you see the update on what we told you yesterday. It's incredible. And then we get the feedback at the CIA. Oh, the president loved this. The president had a follow-up question on that. Oh, the president said, oh my God, when he read this. Well, that's
It almost sounds like
Obama.
you're psychologically profiling the president.
Oh,
That's CIA.
I think that's exactly what they do. And don't forget, they have an entire staff of psychiatrists and psychologists that do exactly that.
Yep.
And so they use the tools that they have employed for decades to subvert foreign governments to subvert their own government?
Yes. But they smile.
Which is definitely illegal. I mean, if we can prove that this is happening, that could be enough to disband the CIA, because they're not supposed to be working on our soil. They're only supposed to be working overseas. And then they're taking that same stuff that they did overseas and they're using it on the American people, on the American president. This is why I've been saying the FBI and the CIA specifically needs to go. They no longer do what they were created to do.
While they're doing it. And they say, no, we're just trying to forge a good working relationship with the president. In fact, for a while in the 90s, they didn't even call him the president. They called him the first customer.
Wow.
I swear to God.
Is there, I know we're getting far afield and we will get back to your story, but it doesn't sound like, so if you look at the org chart, the president controls CIA.
Yes.
But you're describing a situation where CIA kind of controls the president.
You know, this is another problem. It's that presidents come and go every 4 years, every 8 years. But these CIA people, they're there for 25, 30, 35 years. They don't go anywhere. And so if they don't like a president, or if a president orders them to do something that they don't want to do, they just wait, because they know they can wait him out. And then he's not going to be president anymore. And they can continue on with whatever plan the blob or the deep state wants to implement. You know, Donald Trump took a lot of guff in his first term when he used on a regular basis the term deep state. And I argued from the very beginning, it is a deep state. Maybe you don't like the terminology. You don't have to call it the deep state. You can call it the federal bureaucracy. You can call it the state. But the truth is that it exists.
Facts.
I would say by definition, I mean, you just described it. The president, and by the way, the elected representatives who are the instrument of the population through which they control their government, are perennial. They come and go. But the people who carry out those orders remain. So over time, they're the ones with the power, right?
And then when they get caught, they scramble. I remember Jane Harman. She was a congresswoman from Venice, California. She was the chairwoman of the House Intelligence Committee during the Iraq War. And she was briefed on the torture program. Well, when I went public on the torture program, reporters had questions. Well, did Congress approve this? Of course Congress approved it. And Congress appropriated money for it. So she's the chairman. And reporters went to her and said, hey, what about this torture program? And she said, I didn't know anything about the torture program.
Oh, no.
She's a liar.
She was lying. And I said, and I remember saying it to the New York Times, I said, she was in the room when it was briefed.
Wow.
And when she was challenged, she said, oh, yeah, I remember that day. But you know what? I got up and I left early. And I left one of my aides as a note taker, and he never briefed me.
Wow.
Which is also a lie.
Yeah. Well, she was just a pure tool of the intel agency.
That was it.
And of foreign government.
Wow. That is our modern day CIA. Again, I believe they need to be disbanded. By May, members of the intelligence community had quietly begun changing their internal structure, with CIA Director John Ratcliffe vowing to eliminate the politicization and potential waste that he said had become normalized within the agency. Prior to his second term in office, Trump said he wanted to change major governmental agencies and tap Ratcliffe as the CIA's new leader and Kash Patel as the FBI's new director. Some Democrat lawmakers voted against Ratcliffe in January. He enjoyed overwhelming support from Republican senators. During his opening remarks to the Senate committee, Ratcliffe called the agency, quote, the most challenging national security environment in our nation's history, pledging to adhere to the CIA's core missions. Kariku recalled how former chairwoman of the House Intelligence Committee, Jane Harman, publicly claimed she had never been briefed on the CIA's torture program. And again, we know she was lying. But Kariku worked for the CIA between 1990 and 2004, later becoming a whistleblower against the agency beginning in 2007 after publicly disclosing the CIA's use of waterboarding. By 2012, the former intelligence agent was charged with disclosing a covert officer's identity and other classified information under the Intelligence Identities Protection Act. He was sentenced to 30 months in prison. This is what happens when you're a whistleblower. When you expose the corruption, when you expose the dirty stuff, they're going to come after you. They're going to get you for something. But again, this is why I never trust the CIA. I don't think they have America's best interests at heart. I think they only care about protecting themselves, protecting the deep state. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Leave y'all comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.